Hello, my name is Chiso and I'm reading Shōbōgenzō. Now we're halfway through Keisei sanshiki, or is it Keisei sanshiki? And we just got to the quote, though they have wasted precious time in the past, as long as their present life continues, they should without delay make the following vow. I hope that I, together with all living beings, may hear the right Dharma through this life and through life hereafter. If I am able to hear it, I will never doubt the right Dharma, and I will never be disbelieving. When I meet the right Dharma, I will discard secular rules and receive and retain the Buddha Dharma, so that earth and sentient beings may finally realize the truth together. If we make a vow like this, it will naturally become the cause of and conditions for the authentic establishment of the mind. Do not neglect or grow weary of this attitude of mind. In this country of Japan, a remote corner beyond the oceans, people's minds are extremely stupid. Since ancient times, no saint has ever been born here, nor anyone wise by nature. It is needless to say, then, that real men of learning the truth are very rare. When a person tells people who do not know the will to the truth about the will to the truth, the good advice offends their ears, and so they do not reflect upon themselves, but only bear resentment towards the other person. As a general rule, concerning actions and vows, which are the body-mind, we should not intend to let worldly people know whether or not we have established the body-mind, or whether or not we are practicing the truth. We should endeavour to be unknown. How much less could we boast about ourselves? Because people today rarely seek what is real. When the praises of others are available, they seem to want to say that their practice and understanding have become harmonized, even though there is no practice in their body and no realization in their mind. In delusion, adding to delusion describes exactly this. We should throw away this wrong-mindedness immediately. When learning the truth, what is difficult to see and to hear is the attitude of mind based on right Dharma. This attitude of mind is what has been transmitted and received by the Buddhas, Buddha to Buddha. It has been transmitted and received as the Buddha's brightness and as the Buddha's mind. From the time when the Tathagata was in the world until today, many people have seemed to consider that our concern is learning the truth is to get fame and gain. If, however, on meeting the teachings of a true master, they turn around and pursue the right Dharma, they will naturally attain the truth. We should be aware that the sickness described above might be present in the learning of the truth today. For example, among beginners and novices, and among veterans of long training, some have got the makings to receive the transmission of the truth and to pass on the behavior, and some have not got the makings. There may also be some who have it in their nature to learn, in veneration of the ancients. There may also be insulting demons who will not learn. We should neither love nor resent either group. Yet how can we have no regret? How can we bear no resentment? Perhaps no one bears no resentment because almost no one has recognized the three poisons as the three poisons. Moreover, we should not forget the determination we had when we began the joyful pursuit of the Buddha's truth. That is to say, when we first established a will, we are not seeking the Dharma out of concern for others, and having discarded fame and gain already, we are not seeking fame and gain. We are just single-mindedly aiming to get the truth. We are never expecting the veneration and offerings of kings and ministers. Nevertheless, such causes of and conditions for the will to fame and gain are present today. Fame and gain are not an original aim, and they are not true objects of pursuit. To become caught in the fetters which bind human beings and gods is just what we do not hope for. Foolish people, however, even those who have the will to the truth, soon forget their original resolve and mistakenly expect the offerings of human beings and gods, feeling glad that the merit of the Buddha Dharma has come to them. If the devotions of kings and ministers are frequent, foolish people think, it is the realization of my own moral way. This is one of the demons that hinder learning of the truth. Though we should not forget the mind of compassion, we should not rejoice to receive devotion. Do you remember the golden words of the Buddha? Even while the Tathagata is alive, there are many who have hate and envy. Such is the principle that the stupid do not recognize the wise, and small animals make enemies of great saints. Further, many of the ancestral masters of the Western heavens have been destroyed by non-Buddhists, by the two vehicles, by kings, and so on. But this is never due to superiority on the part of the non-Buddhists, or lack of far-sightedness on the part of the ancestral masters. After the first patriarch came from the west, he hung up his travelling stick in the Suzan Mountains, but neither Bu of the Liang dynasty nor the ruler of the Wei dynasty knew who he was. At the time, there was a pair of dogs known as Bodhiruki-sanzo and precepts teacher Kozu. Bodhiruchi or Bodhirusi or Bodhiruki, we're not sure. Feeling that their empty fame and false gain might be thwarted by a right person, they behaved as if looking up to the sun in the sky and trying to blot it out. They were even more terrible than Devadatta, who lived when the Buddha was in the world. How pitiful they are! The fame and profit that they love so deeply is more disgusting than filth to the ancestral master. That such facts occur is not due to an imperfection in the power of the Buddha Dharma. We should remember that there are dogs who bark at good people. Do not worry about barking dogs. Bear them no grudge. Vow to lead them and guide them. Explain to them, though you are animals, you should establish the Bodhi mind. A wise master of the past has said, these are just animals with human faces. But there may also be a certain kind of demon which devotes itself and serves offerings to them. A former Buddha has said, do not get close to kings, princes, ministers, rulers, Brahmins, or secular people. This is truly the form of behavior that people who want to learn the Buddha's truth should not forget. When bodhisattvas are at the start of learning, their virtue, in accordance with their progress, will pile up. Moreover, there have been examples since ancient time of the god Indra coming to test a practitioner's resolve, or of Marapipayas coming to hinder a practitioner's training. These things always happened when the practitioner had not got rid of the will to fame and gain. When the spirit of great benevolence and great compassion is profound, and when the vow to widely save human beings is mature, these hindrances do not occur. There are cases when the power of practice naturally takes possession of a nation. There are cases when a practitioner seems to have achieved worldly fortune. At such times, re-examine the case carefully. Do not slumber on without regard to the particular case. Foolish people delight in worldly fortune, like stupid dogs licking a dry bone. The wise and sacred detest it, as worldly people hate filth and excrement. In general, a beginner's sentimental thinking cannot imagine the Buddha's truth. The beginner fathoms, but does not hit the target. Even though we do not fathom the truth as beginners, we should not deny that there is perfect realization in the ultimate state. Still, the inner depths of the perfect state are beyond the beginner's shallow consciousness. The beginner must just endeavour, through concrete conduct, to tread the path of the ancient saints. At this time, in visiting teachers and seeking the truth, there are mountains to climb and oceans to cross. While we are seeking a guiding teacher or hoping to find a good counselor, one comes down from the heavens or springs out from the earth. At the place where we meet him, he makes sentient beings speak the truth and makes non-sentient beings speak the truth, and we listen with body and listen with mind. Listening with the ears is everyday tea and meals, but hearing the sound through the eyes is just the ambiguous or the undecided itself. In meeting Buddha, we meet ourselves as Buddha and others as Buddha. In meeting Buddha, we meet ourselves as Buddha and others as Buddha, and we meet great Buddhas and small Buddhas. Do not be surprised by or afraid of a great Buddha. Do not doubt or worry about a small Buddha. The great Buddhas and small Buddhas referred to here are recognized presently as the form of mountains and the voices of the river valley. In this the wide and long tongue exists, and 84,000 verses exist. The manifestation is far transcendent, and the insight is unique and exceptional. For this reason, secular teachings say it gets higher and higher and harder. But a past Buddha says it pervades the sky and pervades the meridians. Spring pines possess constant freshness, and an autumn chrysanthemum possesses sublime beauty, but they are nothing other than the direct and concrete. When good counselors arrive in this field of earth, there may be great masters to human beings. When good counselors arrive in this field of earth, they may be great masters to human beings and gods. Someone who randomly affects the forms of teaching others without arriving in this field of earth is a great nuisance to human beings and gods. How could people who do not know the spring pines and who do not see the autumn chrysanthemum be worth the price of their straw sandals? How could they cut out the roots? Furthermore, if the mind or the flesh grow lazy or disbelieving, we should wholeheartedly confess before the Buddha. When we do this, the power of the virtue of confessing before the Buddha saves us and makes us pure. This virtue can promote unhindered pure belief and fortitude. Once pure belief reveals itself, both self and the external world are moved into action, and the benefit universally covers sentient and non-sentient beings. The general intention of the confession is as follows. I pray that, although my many bad actions in the past have accumulated one after another, and there are causes and conditions which are obstructing the truth, the Buddhas and the patriarchs who attained the truth by following the Buddha's way will show compassion for me, that they will cause karmic accumulations to dissolve, and that they will remove obstacles to learning the truth. May their virtue and their gates of Dharma vastly fill and pervade the limitless Dharma world. Let me share in their compassion. In the past, Buddhist patriarchs were the same as us, and in the future we may become Buddhist patriarchs. When we look up at Buddhist patriarchs, they are one Buddhist patriarch. And when we reflect upon the establishment of the mind, it is one establishment of the mind. When the Buddhist patriarchs radiate their compassion in all directions, we can grasp favorable opportunities, and we fall upon favorable opportunities. Therefore, in the words of Ryugi, if we did not attain perfection in past lives, we should attain perfection in the present. With this life, we can deliver the body, which is the accumulation of past lives. The eternal Buddhas, before they realized the truth, were the same as people today. After realizing the truth, people today will be eternal Buddhas. Quietly, we should master this reasoning. There is direct experience of realizing the state of Buddha. This is direct experience of realizing the state of Buddha. When we confess like this, the mystical help of the Buddhist patriarchs is invariably present. Disclosing the thoughts in our mind and the form of our body, we should confess to the Buddha. The power of confession causes the roots of wrongdoing to dissolve. This is right training of one color. It is right belief in the mind and right belief in the body. At the time of right training, the voices of the river valley and the form of the river valley, the form of the mountains and the voices of the mountains, all do not begrudge their 84,000 verses. When the self does not begrudge fame and gain and body and mind, the river valley and the mountains similarly begrudge nothing. Even though the voices of the river valley and the form of the mountains continue throughout the night to produce and not to produce 84,000 verses, if you have not yet understood with all your effort that river valleys and mountains are demonstrating themselves as river valleys and mountains, who could see and hear you as the voices of the river valley and the form of the mountains? Shōbōgenzō Keisei sanshiki, preached to the assembly at Kannon-dori Koshi Horinji Temple 5 days after the start of the retreat in the 2nd year of Ino. Thanks for listening.